They have actually played each other before. They played each other before 5 years ago, and the game ended 3-3. Now, I know that was quite a while ago, going back 5 years, but this could go any which way. I mean, this could be a barn-burning, close encounter. We could get another game like we had 5 years ago, or we could get one-way traffic. Portugal obviously went on to win that tournament 5 years ago. Portugal are the current reigning Euro champions. So Portugal really are one of the teams to keep an eye on. They've got one of the greatest players to ever play the game. That is not an exaggeration. You don't even need to watch football or know anything about football to know that Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the biggest names in sport. And he really is one of the biggest football stars of all time. So he is on the pitch today. He is starting for Portugal. And, where do you begin with Cristiano Ronaldo? He just, in qualifying, scored 11 goals. We were talking yesterday about Spain and how in their qualifying they had 3 or 4 players that had scored like 4 goals each. And that was Spain. 4 goals was the most anyone had managed to score. Cristiano Ronaldo in their qualifying with 11. So even at the age of 36, which he should be getting past his best now. I think it's fair to say he is past his best. I don't think this Cristiano Ronaldo is quite at the same level as like a 28, 29, 30-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo. But make no mistake about it, he is still one of the best players in this tournament, and he can still single-handedly change a game. So Cristiano Ronaldo up front for Portugal. He does start. He is playing, and it is going to be very, very interesting to see what the rest of the team do, because Portugal have been labelled a one-man team quite often. But this is a team that has more than just that one player. Of course, in midfield, they've got Bruno Fernandes, who has set the Premier League on fire with Manchester United. So, Bruno Fernandes is one to watch. The Premier League's Player of the Year was voted as being Ruben Diaz, who was the defender for Manchester City. He is Portuguese as well. So, Portugal are right up there with favourites to win this tournament. They've got one of the best defenders, they've got one of the best midfielders, and they've got one of the best players overall ever in their team playing today. So, they are going to be absolutely formidable. They are going to be a real difficult team to beat. But there are a few weaknesses in there as well. The overall squad is not that strong. I think certainly once you get past the starting 11, then there's definitely areas that start to become weaker. It's not like England that have got really like 2 starting 11s. If someone gets injured, you can easily bring someone else in. They've definitely got some gaps once you start like getting a few injuries. And that's going to be something to keep an eye on as the tournament progresses. Certainly if they lose Ronaldo, they're going to be in a bit of trouble, of course. As you would imagine, just like if England lost Harry Kane, they'd be in a little bit of trouble. But Portugal would still be a formidable side. They've still got Jota, who's been awesome for Liverpool. They've still got Bruno Fernandes, who's been awesome for Man United. They've still got the Premier League's best player in Ruben Diaz in their defence. They've still got a great goalkeeper as well, Patricio, who plays for Wolves, I believe, in the Premier League. So, they've got all-round quality in their team. But as I said, it depends how many injuries they get and, can they perform once again, because amazingly, 5 years ago when Portugal were playing in the tournament, they actually drew their group games. They drew their first 3 games. They just got through to the knockout stage, and then they went on a run and they won all their games and won the tournament. So it is kind of interesting that you can look at the good teams right now. You can look at Italy, you can look at England, you can look at Belgium, but that's no guarantee that those teams that have won are going to be the teams that win this. Because 5 years ago, Portugal had a pretty bad group stage, but still went on to win the tournament. So you just never know. You just never know. So it's all interesting at the moment, looking at the teams, getting a read of, who's on form, who's doing well. But at this stage, we still don't know where the tournament winner is coming from. But make no mistake about it, it could be Portugal. Amir, shout out to you. Hope you are well. Says, hoping for Samoa Joe on NXT tonight. Gamer Awakens says, I've got Fernandez and Diaz in my fantasy team. Yeah, fantasy team-wise, right, this is really important. If you are playing the fantasy game, today is the final day of week 1. So we've got 2 games today, and as soon as those 2 games are completed, all of the teams in the tournament will have played once. We will have seen every single team in the tournament, right? So tomorrow, we start the second round of games. So that means that your week 1 score is finished tonight. Okay, so you get 2 free transfers. You can swap 2 players in your fantasy team. So if you've had a couple of players that just haven't played or have been awful, get them out, bring in 2 players that did really well, and freshen up your team. So you can do that tonight. You can do that now. You can do that anytime. But make sure you do it at some point today, because tomorrow, week 2 starts, and you will have lost your transfers. So, yeah, I understand there's a lot of people playing that fantasy game for the first time. I have been saying keep going onto it each day. Who's your captain? Do you need to swap your captain? Do you need to make substitutions? You can look to do that each day, but you can also each week make a couple of changes. So, yeah, just bear that in mind. Days, Hell in a Cell has 2 first-time ever matches, Alexa Shayna and Ray versus Roman. It's a shame that Alexa Shayna will probably be supernatural, as they could put on a great match. Shake my head. James Chadwick, shout out to you. Says, yes, Ronaldo is a striker. Yeah, they've got him front and centre. I mean, he is very deadly there. And I think he's going to be heavily involved in the game today. Wouldn't surprise me if he does get a goal or 2 in this game. We did look at the rankings, and like Portugal are right up there in the FIFA rankings. I think Hungary was like 34th. Like, this is the group of death. So we've seen all the teams except for 4. And these 4 that we're going to watch today are all in the same group. The group of death. France, Germany, Portugal, and Hungary. You're talking about 3 of the best teams in the world. And then Hungary. So Portugal are going to know that they have got to get a result today. If Portugal do not get a result today, they are in trouble. Because I would not want to be Portugal going to France, the world champions, trying to get a result. You never really want to go to Germany to try and get a result. And also, it's in Germany. They're going to have to play Germany in Germany. That's worth pointing out. Germany will have home advantage. It's hard enough playing Germany anyway. Doing it in Germany, no one looks forward to that. So, if I'm Portugal, I am going all out today. You've got to get them 3 points today if you are Portugal. So this is going to be very, very interesting. In my mind, I think this is going to be like Spain and Sweden yesterday. If you watch that game, it finished 0-0. No one knows how. But Spain just wave after wave after wave of attack. But they just could not get the ball in the net. So wave after wave after wave. They didn't get any joy. But, they had so many chances. I could see this game being like that. Portugal just constantly battering Hungary. The difference is Portugal have got Ronaldo and Jota, whereas Spain didn't. So I think Portugal will take their chances, and wouldn't be surprised if this is 3-0, something along those lines. But I do expect goals today. I do expect goals. Henrik, shout out to you. Colin said, Days, I'm back. I'm feeling 100%. That's good, buddy. I'm glad that you're feeling better. Daniel says, we are still Rubbish. No one wants to play Germany in Germany, but I mean, even if your team is not quite where you'd want it to be, you are still going to be tricky, and you are still going to be a team that no one is going to want to get excited about facing because of your record and your standing in world football. And even though I think you've slipped out of the top 10 now, but you've still got players, man. You've still got some really, really good players, and you can make it difficult for teams. And I'm not sure that I see you guys winning this thing, but I didn't see Greece winning in 2004, and I didn't see Denmark winning in 1992. So if they can win, then Germany could definitely win this thing. And you can certainly make it difficult. I think there's a good chance that all three teams get out the group. Because don't forget, first and second get out the group, but then the best placed, third placed teams get out the group as well. So, it could be that all three manage to get out, and all three are going to be a problem for any team in the next round, even Germany. Harley said, Days, I changed my captain. I put a few players on the bench. I lost 10 points because they had points, but I don't care because I've got Ronaldo, Lloris, and my captain Mbappe today. I'm going to get those points back and more. Fair play. Big gambles, big moves by Harley. So see how good luck. Hope your team goes well. Andrew said, is it a good idea to have Kroos, Muller and Varane in my fantasy for today? Is it a good idea to have those players in your fantasy team for today? Muller might be all right. Kroos and Muller, I'm honestly not sure. I haven't seen any team news, obviously, as to whether they're in the mix to start or not. I would imagine so. But Varane will play. But obviously they're taking on Germany, who could score. I think Varane would be all right. Muller and Kroos, you might want to just see if you can find any predicted team news. If they're playing, then sure, why not? Why not? Unless you've got better players on the pitch already. LSW said the game should be very interesting. Dean Henderson has withdrawn because of injury and has been replaced by Ramsdale. I did see this. Yeah, I did see that, James. So kind of a little under the radar, that one, wasn't it? I sorted a couple of things after the Raw stream last night, like set the streams up and whatever, and I'm just in the habit, whenever I go to bed, I always check to see what's happening with Man United, just to see if there's any like latest news or rumours that I need to be aware of, and I found it that way, because obviously he's a Man United player, so just by absolute chance, I found it that way, and the news that he'd withdrawn and he'd been replaced, so yeah, interesting. I've not seen like big reports on that, to be honest, but I don't think he would have played anyway. I don't think that's much of a loss for England. I think we had Sam Johnston, who was picked for the second friendly, so I don't even know if Henderson was second choice, to be honest. He might have been third choice, so it's no great loss, but hopefully he can go away, get sorted, and be ready for the next season. Amir said, I've tagged you in a video on Twitter. It's all about England. Okay, I'll try and look at it in a sec. Tall Paul said lineups have been announced. We've got the lineups for Portugal and Hungary. They should be on screen. Obviously, the Portugal one is on screen. The Hungary one, we can flip it over, but I'm not sure too many people are going to be that fussed. To be honest, I'm not familiar with many Hungary players. I've got the magazine here, and there's a couple of players that are getting mentioned, but Orban, who is their defender, is he? Orban, who is, number 6, their defender. He is their top scorer in qualifying, so that doesn't bode well, does it? Their defender got the most goals in qualifying for them with 3. And a fun reminder, Cristiano Ronaldo got 11 in qualifying. Well, their top scorer was Orban, their defender, who got 3. So that's not great. But I'm not familiar with many of these players. There's a couple that do play for RB Leipzig, though. And if you know anything about RB Leipzig, The RB actually stands for Red Bull, and they have got a very interesting concept of going out and finding the most talented youngsters. They invest heavily on data, and they actually use that data to find the up-and-coming players. So they tend to do really, really well at finding, like, these great nuggets. Like, they're kind of like the players that everyone else doesn't ignore, but everyone's focused on, like, you know, the big names or whatever, or they'll do a bit of work and find a few players of their own. Whereas Leipzig really dig into the data, really get stuck in, and if it means buying someone from, like, Division 4 in Botswana, then they'll do that. If the numbers suggest that's the right player to go for, then they'll go wherever they've got to go. So they have a very good team, full of players that haven't really heard of, to be honest, because they recruit via this data. And there's a few players in the Hungary team that play for RB Leipzig. So whenever I see that, I always think, there's straight away there's something about them. Straight away there's a reason why they're playing for Leipzig. So very interested to see Orban, for example, the guy that got 3 goals. He plays for Leipzig. So he scored the most goals for them in qualifying, and he's a defender. So no surprise, he plays for RB Leipzig. So yeah, just a few little things to keep an eye out for. A few little kind of nice little quirky things to be aware of when it comes to this game. So I do think Hungary are going to be in trouble. I do think that they're going to be beaten. I personally have got Jota in my fantasy team. I couldn't afford Ronaldo, otherwise I probably would have gone Ronaldo. But I decided to go with Kane and Jota, and I probably should have gone with Ronaldo instead, now I'm thinking about it. But hey-ho, no big deal. We'll see how Jota does today. So obviously he's put in some great performances for Liverpool. So fingers crossed. Did you hear about Coca-Cola stock crashed because of Ronaldo? I didn't hear that, no. I saw the clip of Ronaldo moving the Coca-Cola bottles away because I believe he is very anti kind of junk food, and I know he doesn't let his kids eat chocolate and all that kind of stuff. So he sat down to do a press conference. There was a couple of bottles of Coca-Cola. He just picked them up and like moved them out of the way, and he was like, he went water and showed water and put that there instead. But no, I didn't hear their stock had crashed. No. Harley said, I've got Ronaldo and Mbappe. Ha ha ha. Well, could be a very good day for you, Harley. Don't count your chickens, though, till they've done something. So, there we go. David Robert Wood said, Germany versus France is going to be 0-0. And Portugal will win today against Hungary. That's what I've got to happen. That's, yeah, I could see something like that. I mean, it would be disappointing with all the talent on display if Germany-France was 0-0. I'd personally prefer it to be like a 2-2. Something like that. If they're going to cancel each other out, I hope they do it with goals rather than, 0-0. No one wants a 0-0, do they? So, hopefully we get some goals there. But, yeah, I could see that being a draw, definitely. Badger and Bournemouth fan, shout out to you. Hope you are well. Anna Dawes, shout out to you. Anthony says, hopefully Casino will make a run in. I'm not sure. I mean, Casino, haven't had any updates on our 5-year-old friend in hospital. Hope he is well. But I'm not sure if he's watching the Euros or not. Tall Paul, that's it. Yeah, Tall Paul, don't count your chickens till they've scored. That's right. I knew it was something like that, Tall Paul. Thank you. I knew it was something like that. Don't count your chickens till they've scored, Harley. Amir has sent me a video. What is this video? Is it going to be bringing shame? Hang on. Every England fan. I'll show you this. I haven't seen it myself yet. Oh! I didn't know it was going to have swearing, Amir. Well, Amir, you've let yourself down there, haven't you? You've let yourself down. Leechy Scott says, what did you make of Phillips the other day? Oh, I thought he was amazing. I had such praise for Phillips. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. I was saying that for me, he was man of the match. And a lot of praise for Sterling as well, and a lot of praise for Mings. Mings had been on the ball quite a bit. He'd touched the ball a lot. He'd got involved a lot. He looked kind of steady. It was kind of interesting, actually, because they went over to the studio after, and they said the 4 players that Southgate had taken a gamble on, had really come through, had really delivered for him. And that is true. Like, the 4 players that he took a gamble on had done really, really well. So, credit to Southgate. He played a team that I don't think many people would have played. I've seen a lot of people saying, like, Trippier on the left. Like, who would have done that? But it worked. I mean, it wasn't, like, an amazing success. Trippier wasn't, like, man of the match or anything, but it was a good way to get him on the pitch, which is obviously very useful for, like, free kicks. So, yeah, I kind of feel that Phillips for me was man of the match. I think he's now undroppable. I don't think you can drop Phillips. But I also think that choosing like Sterling over Grealish, I think, worked out. I think Trippier worked out as well. Mings obviously, did good at the back also. So he took a few gambles. It came off. We got the result. And now we've got a very, very tough game coming up against Scotland, which... yeah, I'm not worried about, but they are going to be bang up for it after losing. So, yeah, they lost their first game against the Czech Republic, and now they are, fighting to stay in this tournament. James Chadwick says United have offered 75 million for Sancho, but Dortmund want 86. Hopefully a deal can get sorted out. We've got LLC Casino in the chat. Casino with a run-in. Hey, look at this. Look at this rammed crowd. Wow, look at this. Is that a capacity crowd? So, Hungary taking on Portugal. We are in Hungary. We are in Budapest. And this looks like a full stadium, which is absolutely incredible to see. Colin said it was 3-3 last time. Hungary are a good team. True. I'm not sure they're quite at the same level where they were, but saying that, they have qualified. They are certainly one of the best teams in Europe because here they are. They had to come through a group that had Wales, Slovakia, Croatia. It wasn't the easiest of groups. They did lose 4 times, though, and they had to come through the playoffs. They actually managed to beat Bulgaria and Iceland. So Hungary had to work hard to get to these finals. And, now they're up against Ronaldo and Portugal. They're also going to be up against Germany and France. And I don't know. It's going to be hard for them. It's going to be very, very hard for them. But we'll see what they can do. As we said, there's a couple of RB Leipzig players in there. So full capacity. This is awesome. Look at that stadium. How much do we wish that was Wembley? How much do we wish Wembley Stadium had 90,000 in it like this stadium here? Absolutely brilliant. LSW said it looks full capacity. Yeah, I believe it is. I believe it is. This is going to be the first football game that we will have seen in I don't know how long with a full capacity crowd. I can't remember. I don't know if I've ever seen a football game with a full capacity anymore. It's been so long. I can't remember ever watching football with a full capacity. So, absolutely brilliant. James Chadwick says, come on, Bruno. Moda, shout out to you. Moda said, let's go, Portugal, the place where I was born. Chris said, I can see Hungary getting something from this. Yeah, full capacity, a lot of excitement for the full capacity. Moda said, let's go, Portugal, my second home country. Brad said, let's go, Christina. Is she playing? Please score me a few goals. There are 61,000 people in there right now. Ace says, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think Lukaku is the best of Belgium. He is the one saving the team. I don't think he's saving the team because they do have a lot of quality. They've got like Tielemans who plays for like Leicester. Obviously, they've got De Bruyne coming back as well. They have got some quality in that side. So I'm not sure he's saving them, but he is certainly a big part of their success. And he is their main goal threat. So if he was to get injured, it would be a problem. But it would only be the same as if Harry Kane got injured for England. Like, it's a problem, but we can work around it. So, yeah, obviously, he's currently leading, isn't he, with the 2 goals. I don't think anyone else has scored 2 goals in this tournament. So, after the first round of games, Lukaku with 2 goals. Corey K says it's going to be 3-1 Portugal. James Chadwick said, if Ronaldo scores, I think he becomes the first player to score in 4 or 5 straight Euros. Are they going to the attendance in Wembley? No. There were rumours we were looking at getting to 50%. But I don't think we can get above that. And I'm not even sure if that 50% is going to happen now, to be honest. Gar says, I'm from India. Germany is my team. Since 2014, when I was 13, kid got impressed by winners. Shout out to you, buddy. Yeah, I mean, this thing is kind of, cyclical in the sense of you'll have a winner and then, of course, another team will emerge. It's very, very rare to see a team win tournaments back-to-back. There's so many good teams that you tend to get different winners each time. So Spain have done it. They did it in 2008 and 2012. Can Portugal do it this time around? They are the current European champions. We are watching right now the current European champions, Portugal, who won this 5 years ago. Isn't that crazy? That's why people get so excited for these tournaments. This tournament was last held in 2016. That's how long ago this tournament was. Obviously, it was meant to take place last year, but because of the pandemic, it was delayed. But we're not going to be delayed for much longer. This game is about to get underway. Cristiano Ronaldo, wearing in white, wearing number 7. And it's going to be... Oh, it's so great. Look at them. Hungary are really up for this. The fans really showing their support. I tell you, atmosphere-wise, this might do it. It's the Iceland clap, isn't it? Lot of noise in that stadium, and it is in Hungary. That is something worth just mentioning. I know we've mentioned it before, but this is Portugal versus Hungary in Hungary. So, does that make it a little more tricky for Portugal? I mean, you'd have to think it does. I still don't think it's going to mean they're not going to win, but it definitely is going to make it a bit more of an uphill challenge. So, we are underway. Portugal versus Hungary. Days, I've got Oliveira as well, but he is on the bench. Anthony said, I am completely baffled at the disrespect for Poland. Days putting them 3rd instead of 2nd. No disrespect to Poland, but I think that they are going to struggle here in what is quite a tough little group for them. I mean, I love Poland. I've been to Poland. I'm a big fan of the country. But from a sporting team point of view, that's just where I think they're going to be. And don't forget, they did lose their first game as well. So far, it looks like I'm not going to be too far off. They probably needed to get a result. And they ended up losing 2-1 to Slovakia, getting reduced down to 10 men. And they've got a tricky little group. They've still got to play Spain. I mean, getting a result against Spain, we all saw how great they were against Sweden. That's going to be hard for Poland. So really, I think the only game they can get some out of is going to be against Sweden. And that'll be very interesting. It's going to come down to that game. You know, what can they do against Sweden? So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But yeah, I do think that group's going to be a bit of a struggle for Poland. We are underway, of course, almost 2 minutes in, but Portugal in white. The ball is just in the midfield at the moment. Football is better than Raw. Raw gives me 3 hours of good sleep. I would have thought you would have been really, really into it, to be honest, because I know, like, the Indian fans are, like, just really, really passionate about WWE. Really passionate. Like, that Superstar Spectacle event was viewed by, I think it was, like, 20-odd, 30-odd million. So I'm very surprised that you're saying that Raw is a little bit dull. But shout out to you, Gar. Hope you are well. Sorry, Days, for the sweat. No, don't worry about it, bud. Don't worry about it. Someone disliked the video. That was me. That was me and my parents. But have you tried the kielbasa? I haven't tried the kielbasa, no. No, I haven't, bud. Come on, Portugal, says David Robert Wood. Right, so we are up and running. We are 3 minutes into this game, and at the moment the ball is just bouncing around the midfield. And the Portugal shirt is white. This is their away shirt. I haven't actually seen this yet. So it's white with, is it black stripes? Need to have a good look at it. As I said, still haven't had a good close-up look at it yet. But Hungary on the attack. Oh, it's kind of an interesting shirt, actually. It's not white with black stripes. It seems to be like white with Portuguese colours. Wow, look at that. Black, red and green. So you've got stripes going across, but the stripes are black, red, green, red and black, like as one stripe. Do you know what? Why don't I just find a picture? Why don't I do that? I'll do that, guys. Don't you worry. I'm all over this. Portugal Euro away. Shot. Save by the Hungary goalkeeper. That was Diego Jota. So, would have been great if he'd have got that in. Can I just say, this is a really nice shirt. This is a really nice shirt. So, yeah, Jota with an opportunity there. This is fresh. This is a fresh shirt, man. I like this. I don't know that it's my favourite shirt, but I do like it. Looks like we've got a corner. Bruno Fernandes is going to take this. What we'll do, we'll wait for this to be taken, and then I'll show you the shirt that Portugal are wearing. So, here we go. Need to keep an eye on this. Oh, it's actually a free kick, sorry. Free kick going to be whipped in by Bruno. Comes in to the back post. Bouncing around. But a Hungary player goes down and nothing given there. Here is the Portugal shirt that they're wearing today. That is the shirt, which I think looks quite sharp, personally. It's kind of nice. I think if I was going to change it, so if anyone from Portugal is watching, or Nike is watching, I don't want to say that I could make this look better, but I could. And what I would do is I would actually lose the stripe in the middle and at the bottom. I would just have the stripe at the top. So the stripe that up here that's got the badge and the logo, that's the only stripe you need. You don't need the other two. They're not providing anything. They're not bringing value to the shirt. So yeah, I would lose the bottom two and just have that as white. That's really. I wish England would do something like that actually, as their away shirt. That could look quite nice. It couldn't be white though, obviously. It'd have to be a different colour. But Strip across there with the badge and the logo. It's nice. That looks a nice top. It's nice, isn't it? I'm actually studying, so I'm going to speak in my headphones next 2 hours. I've loved you. Gar, shout out to you, buddy. Have a good day doing whatever you're doing. Studying. Sure. I got you, but I know what you're up to. Right. Hungary have got the ball in their defence. Driving forward. Hungary player goes down. Looking for a free kick, but the referee not interested. Wrestling Kid says, I like that shirt. Badger and Bournemouth is a fan as well. There we go. Well done, Portugal. Okay, Portugal have got it in their defence, just playing it into the midfield. Going back to Pereira, I think it is, on the halfway line. 7 minutes in, and some nice, good chances for Portugal so far. They've been the better side. Days, I designed that Portugal shirt and the Hungary shirt. Well, you did well. I think we feel that it could be a little bit sharper, but no, I'm a fan of it. Just showing Pepe. Right, Bruno Fernandes is going to whip this one into the middle. And it was Jota that was on the end of that as well, but he puts it over. Jota has been in some really good positions, and he's put it over twice. It's really frustrating. He had some space and time, and he really, really should have done better with that. I've got a Ronaldo jersey from United in 2008 when AIG was the sponsor. Now I can't get it over my shoulders. Nate the Great says, I can't believe that Benzema, Cruz, and Cristiano are in the same group. Ronaldo is on the ball, and he gets tackled. And just when he gets tackled, the whole Hungarian crowd are like, yeah! It's amazing. They absolutely loved seeing him get tackled there. There's a little smile on his face, look. Hey, listen, when Ronaldo's on the ball, whole nations go, oh. So I can understand everyone going, yeah! How has your day been? It's been all right. To be honest, I haven't really done anything. I tried to get a good amount of sleep, so I did achieve that. So I'm feeling pretty good. My voice is still not recovered, as you can tell. So still a few problems. After screaming during like the England game and singing songs and all of that, I'm now paying the price for a couple of days. But hopefully by Friday, it'll be back so that I can trash it all over again. All right, ball played in to Jota. We're in the on the midfield. 10 minutes gone so far. Fightful say that Cole versus Cross is planned for Bash or SummerSlam Takeover, and it will be Cole's send-off. Gar said, have you ever watched or played cricket? It's the unofficial Indian national sport. Do you know, I've never played. I've never played. I'm an English. I must be the only Englishman that's never played cricket. I would love to play a game of cricket, like a proper game of cricket, even if it was just with friends. I would love to play a game of cricket, but I've never played. And for some reason at school, it was never something that we ever did. We did football and running and basketball and stuff like that, but never cricket. The problem was that I think whenever cricket was an option, you were given the option. You can stick inside and play cricket, or go outside, like in the hall, or go outside and play football. And it just wasn't an option. Everyone ran outside and played football. So I've never played, but I have watched. I watch England play whenever they are on, and then I always immediately regret it. But yeah, I do enjoy it. But I don't watch the IPL or the county stuff. I just watch England mainly. Days on Friday, England, Scotland, and then SmackDown, and then AEW. Oh no, it's going to be horrific. And then the next day, we've got more games and UFC. I mean, that's genuinely going to be a problem for me, but we're doing it all. We're definitely doing it all. So we'll see how it goes. But if my voice is trashed like this after England and Croatia, imagine what it's going to be like after England, Scotland. Ball is played into the Hungary penalty area, but there's no one there. Portugal on the ball again with Riotta. Portuguese player goes down, but he's not looking for the penalty or anything. So and it's not given. So the IPL is basically just a bunch of guys knocking a ball around. You're not missing anything. Days, please wear over the top England get up on Friday. Please wear over the top England get up. Over the top England get up. I don't have any over the top England get up, unfortunately. I have an England top, but I don't really have anything more than that. Do you mean like a queen mask and all this kind of stuff? Inflatable crown jewels and all of that? Listen, if I had it, I'd wear it. AG Games says, I'm in a class, so if I fail, it's all on you. Well, at the moment, it's 0-0. I'll bring you some education about the game. It's 0-0. Portugal are the better team. They've had way more possession. In fact, if I update the OneFootball website, I can tell you that Portugal have had 75% possession. So not quite Spain levels. They had 84. So 75 for Portugal. They've also had 2 shots, 1 on target. They've won 71% of the duels. So there we go. It's definitely Portugal that's doing the better in this game at the moment. How are yourself and Linda getting on? Very well. Very well. We're a match made in heaven. So yeah, it's a wonderful relationship. It's just a bit of a problem keeping it from Vince. And it doesn't help the fact I talk about it all the time so publicly on streams, but hey-ho. Portugal with the ball in their defence. Athel says, love from India. I don't watch the Euro Cup, but I'm watching now due to CR7. Athel, shout out to you. Yeah, he really is someone that brings like the world to the sport. You know, people that aren't even interested in football will watch it just because it is Cristiano Ronaldo. I think there's something, isn't there, about watching the very best. It's like, I don't know anything about baseball, but if Babe Ruth was going to be playing, I would want to tune in and watch. You know, basketball. I remember being on a flight. I was on a flight to Florida in the 90s. I think it was like 97. And the pilot says, ladies and gentlemen, we're just approaching Florida. And he said something like, if you are going to be staying in the United States, can I recommend that you visit my home state of Chicago, where the world's greatest sports star, Michael Jordan, can be seen performing his works of art on a regular basis. If you are just staying in the Florida area, though, have a fantastic time. And like the pilot, for no reason, just started talking about Michael Jordan. But that's the kind of impact that like Cristiano Ronaldo has. How big Michael Jordan was in America and around the world is, you know, the same as Cristiano Ronaldo when it comes to football. And people that aren't even fans will tune in. And that's just an example of a pilot. I wasn't even going to Chicago. We were landing in Florida. And the pilot out of nowhere just started talking about Michael Jordan on the voiceover system. And I never did get to see Michael Jordan, but I would have loved to have seen him. Or Kobe, of course. Or LeBron. Ronaldo was on the ball and he was on the edge of the Hungary penalty area, but he gets bundled down. Got to tell you, Portugal are absolutely all over Hungary. The ball has gone to the halfway line, but Hungary just, if they touch the ball for a second, there's got about 4 or 5 Portuguese players around them. Portugal are pressing hard. Breaking news, beware, Austin has threatened he will pop into the chat imminently. You have been warned. The pilot pulled a daze. Yeah, he just went off on one. He just went completely off on a tangent. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. He's meant to be focused on flying the plane and saying we're about to land into Florida. He ends up telling us about Chicago and Michael Jordan. That is so me. That is so me. Normally I'm meant to be talking about Raw or whatever, and we're off talking about, I don't even know what, Dolly Parton quotes. Ball played into the centre, but cleared by the Hungary back line. And falls to Schaffer, who I'm not aware of, in the Portuguese midfield. Bruno Fernandes has seen quite a bit of the ball. I realised if the draft happens straight after SummerSlam, that helps Survivor Series, because the main complaint is that it's stupid to have draft weeks before Survivor Series when it is Raw versus SmackDown. Diego said, I'm in Austin's corner. Oh, ball falls to Ronaldo. And he side foots it, and it goes right at the keeper. He didn't really make that much contact, and he was offside anyway. But he didn't know that at the time. So when the ball is played, it's tight. It's very tight. But the ball's played, and he touches it, and the keeper saves it anyway. Yeah, he just sort of flicks it. Still, though, those pictures going around the world. I'm turning 16 tomorrow. Well, have a great birthday, buds. 16, it's a big one. Here we go, Hungary on the ball. Trying to feed it through to the guy in the centre, but Portugal have got it back. And, yeah, almost 20 minutes gone. We're almost halfway through the first half here. Gar said, Days, I'm a talk show host. I wanted to ask where you got the motivation to start the channel. Well, actually, I used to watch wrestling with my then partner, and she did not want to... She'd watch it, but she didn't want to talk about wrestling after. So she would watch it, and she actually enjoyed it. We were watching NXT, so we would watch NXT together. And she liked it. I think like the Vaudevillains were around at the time, and there was a few interesting characters, and stories were kind of fun. And I think you had Sasha maybe and Alexa and a lot of the people that are on the main roster now. So NXT was good. I mean, it still is good, but I think it was better back then. And this was around 2015, 2016, 2015. And so we'd watch it, and as soon as the show would end, I'd be like, why do you think they've done that? That doesn't really make any sense, does it? Because of this and because of that. But if they're going to do this, who's going to win? And she turned around and she was like, listen, I'll watch it, but I have no interest in talking about it. So, you might as well like know that now and keep your thoughts to yourself, kind of a thing. She was friendly about it, but like, she was also serious. So we watched it then, and then after, a bit like, how Riddle does the kind of zips his mouth kind of a thing. The next week I had to stay quiet. And so I was like, thinking about it then. And she was like, now that you're not talking about it, you keep going into a wrestling daze. Oh. And then she was like, why don't you just start a YouTube channel and let people, you know, talk to... There might be someone out there that's interested in what you've got to say. She was like, I doubt it, but I'm certainly not interested. So I was like, okay. So that's how it started. So that's where the motivation came from, was just the fact that there was... This is why the watch-alongs have always been really what the channel was built for. It was always built for watch-alongs, but they were never possible because I always had to go to work. So, you know, figures came on instead, and there was other things that were on the channel. But as soon as I was able to start the watch-alongs, that was it. We were off. We were rocking and rolling. So, yeah, that's kind of how it started. That's where the name came from and everything. It is a story that I've told before, but I don't know. I couldn't tell you what stream that conversation was in or whatever, but I certainly don't mind telling it again. Portugal have got a corner. So, past couple of minutes, Portugal have just been working their way to the Hungary penalty box. Bruno Fernandes with this corner, then whips it into the centre. Hungary player heads it up into the air, falls down, bouncing around, falls to the edge of the area, and it's cleared. But Portugal get a hold of it once more. As we said, Portugal absolutely all over Hungary. It is very reminiscent of Spain and Sweden. It is just wave after wave of Portuguese attack. Is that why you broke up? It wasn't actually. No, well, no, it wasn't. It was honestly, we broke up mainly because of the fact that I didn't have any time, and it just wasn't fair. So it's one of those, really. There was no problems or anything like this, but it was just like I was going to work in the day, and then when I was coming back, I was doing like the YouTube stuff at night, and it's just like trying to fit in a relationship on top of that is impossible. You need to have time for your partners, don't you? Obviously, if you're in a relationship, you've got to put the people first, and it was just very, very difficult to do that. It wasn't that I wasn't trying to do it, but it was just very, very difficult to do it. So that's one of the real problems. You know, this is one of the things that people don't talk about with YouTube, is that side of it. You know, with YouTube, it takes so much. Look at how many streams we're doing, and look how much time this is taking. Could you imagine? Like, I'm struggling to find time to sleep. Could you imagine if I was like maintaining a relationship? Well, I wouldn't. It just wouldn't work. It's kind of like how in wrestling, you know, a lot of wrestlers break up with, and their relationships don't work out because wrestling, you know, you're on the road all the time. You're rarely back home. And how do you maintain a relationship in that environment? So this is why a lot of wrestlers get divorced and break up with their partners all the time. You hear it all the time. Like, people splitting in wrestling because it just doesn't work out, because you just don't have the time. I suppose the pandemic has been really, really good for wrestling relationships because they don't have to go on the road, do they? They don't have to, they literally do Raw once a week and that's it. Or they do SmackDown once a week. There's no house shows. There's no travelling. I can't imagine the wrestlers are that excited to get back on the road. I really don't think they are. If I was a wrestler, I wouldn't be. I'd be really excited to get fans back, but I don't know. There could be maybe an argument that wrestling could change a little bit and evolve a little bit. You know, maybe they have a group of wrestlers that stay in one place to do TV shows, or maybe I don't know. I don't know how you would do it. But I think being on the road all the time, I mean, it's like 300 odd days a year that they're on the road. They get like 50 days at home a year. That's hard. It's really hard. But I suppose that's the job, isn't it? I mean, I was like, I wonder if there's a way that you could just do, oh, hello, Portugal, breaking into the Hungary penalty area, but it's a tackle by Hungary. The referee just telling him to get up. So, Portugal won in a penalty there. Again, all the time we're talking, you're not missing out on anything. It's just like the ball being passed around the midfield. But as soon as they get into that final third, then, of course, I will tell you what's happening. But Hungary with a good attack there. But yeah, it'd be a very interesting conversation as to how could wrestling evolve, how could it change after the pandemic, you know, compared to before. Because I do think there'll probably be less house shows. Portugal on the attack again, on the edge of the penalty area. Looking to whip the ball into the centre, but it's no one there. It goes right over everyone's head. Headed away by the Hungary player and goes out the other side. Jimmy said, I was married 9 years. They were the worst 9 years. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, bud. Anthony says, Turner gave AEW a 45 million budget and they are already over that budget. Looking to whip the ball in. That's a beautiful cross. Sails out. No one could get on the end of it, but that was brilliant work by Bernardo Silva. Yeah, and they're showing a replay of that potential penalty, but it is a very good tackle. Yeah, he gets the ball. Wear England face paint and become the national flag for the next England match. I don't know, but because we've got to do SmackDown later, and I think there's 2 games that day as well. So I might have to just wear the shirt. When we get to like the final or something like that, we'll have a look at it then. Zenit, shout out to you. I'll credit to you. How do you make a living? What do you do other than YouTube? Well, I don't, to be honest. I do just YouTube now. It's a bit strange because I used to work in retail, and no word of a lie, headed away. There was a cross that came in. No word of a lie. Retail paid better. When it comes to making money, if you care about the money, YouTube is not really the place to be. You've got to do this because you want to do this. The ad revenue is just not there on YouTube. If you want to make money, you kind of need sponsors. And I actually get approached by quite a few people saying that they want to sponsor the streams. But I'm just not interested in doing it. I really do not want to sit here reading out sponsors and shilling stuff. Do you know what I mean? I just don't want to do it. I don't mind, like, working with, like, say, Kids Magazine. Because it's WWE Kids Magazine, and, like, I like those guys. Genuinely, I like those guys. And it's still WWE. So it's not like, do you know what I mean? Manscaped and all the stuff like this. Blue Tube. Do you know what I mean? It's just so random, all that kind of stuff. But WWE Kids Magazine, Tops, or WWE Euro Shop, or Wrestling Shop, or, you know, anything that's like wrestling and stuff like that, I have no problem, like, ball in the centre but headed wide. No problem with, like, working with any of those guys, because I genuinely like that stuff and I'm genuinely into that stuff, and it's all connected to wrestling and it makes perfect sense, and it's all stuff that I would be involved in anyway. But yeah, like the Manscaped, and I get approached by a lot of mobile games saying they want to put ads on the streams and all stuff like that, you know. I just don't want to do it. So unless you're doing that kind of stuff, and unless you're doing, like, you know, selling loads of merch, and I don't know, finding other revenue streams, whatever they might be, you really, if you're just relying on ad revenue, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I made comfortably more when I was working in retail than I do on YouTube. But what I'm more passionate about this. When I was going to work, I would be at work and I would just spend my whole day at work thinking, like, what videos could I make tonight? Or there'll be some news and I'll be like, oh, why am I not at home? Why am I not able to make a video on this and talk about this? And, you know, you kept seeing opportunity, and it just, you know, you're so frustrated that you couldn't do anything about it. And that frustration just grew and grew and grew. So it got to the point where I was like, I've got to make a decision here. And the place I was working was moving, actually. It was going through a change, and it just felt like the right time for me to go and someone else to come in. They wanted me to stay. There was no problems there. They wanted me to stay, but I was like, do you know what? I really want to pursue the YouTube thing. So this is, I always say, like, the channel, like, lives and dies by its big streams. Like, this stream right now won't make anything for the channel. We are doing this because I'll be watching this game anyway, and it's just nice to hang out with people. But, like, the big UFC streams we do, they're really important to the ongoing success of the channel, if you will. So yeah, I really, really can't stress it enough. I really don't recommend YouTube if you're like hoping to make lots of money, because there are people that can make lots of money on YouTube, but it's there's not many. It's few and far between. It's kind of like being a singer. Do you know what I mean? You see Ed Sheeran and Adele and all of those, and they're making loads of money. But what about all the other people that are, you know, grinding away and not getting gigs and not getting signed and, you know, struggling to make it in the music business? No one talks about them. And there's a lot more of them than there are Adeles and Ed Sheerans and Cardi B's and whatever, you know? So the world can be fixated on the top, the people that are successful. And there's a lot more people that are struggling, like, underneath. And that's the same with YouTube. You've got your Jake Pauls, your Logan Pauls and whatever, absolutely. And there's a lot of successful YouTubers. There's a lot more underneath, trust me. There's a lot more underneath. It's only like the top 1% or something crazy like that actually can make some, you know, really good money on YouTube. It's so competitive, isn't it, if you think about it? Think how many channels there are. How many people are, you know, even covering this game here. And, you know, it's hard to find, like, a niche and, you know, it's just difficult. It's just really difficult. But I'm not saying don't do it. If there's people out there that want to do it, but just do it for the right reasons. If you're doing it for the money, you'll be disappointed. If you're doing it because you're passionate about it and you want to do it, you're not going to be disappointed, are you? I'll tell you what is disappointing. The fact this game is 0-0. And right now, Portugal have got it in their defence. And they're looking to play the ball out and forward. I don't think Hungary have had a shot on goal, do they? I don't think we've seen any shots on goal by Hungary yet. Pump to the halfway line for Portugal. Ball bounces to Bruno, who back heels it, but there's no one there, and so Hungary clear. People that make loads of money off YouTube are the people that start on YouTube but grow into household names. That's true. I mean, like, I think if you can, like, really, to be honest, I think if you can really excel at something, then you can make money on it. So, for example, I'm sure there's, like, big players that do crypto, yeah? I'm sure there's big players that do, I don't know, knitting. Maybe there's, like, a big knitting YouTuber that just knits and comes out with lots of different designs or whatever. But if you're at the very top of that market, you'll make money. If you're at the very top of wrestling, you'll make money. If you're at the very top of football, you'll make money. You know, if you're at the very top of basketball on YouTube, you'll make money. If you're at the very top of American football, you'll make money. But all the other ones are getting by at best. So it's just one of them things. It's just one of those things. It's really just a conversation to say, if you're thinking of getting into YouTube and you want to do it, do it. It's good. I mean, I love it. I wouldn't have, I don't regret ever starting it or doing it, and this, I'm 5 years in. So, yeah, it's no regrets or anything, but do it for the right reasons. And that should be because you're passionate about what you're talking about. Right, Hungary have got a free kick, and they're going to whip it in here. This is Hungary's best chance at the moment. I don't think they've had a shot on target yet. So, ball whipped in to penalty area, headed, and it does go to the goalkeeper, who manages to get his hands on the ball. So, finally, Hungary have actually managed to get a shot on target. They finally managed to get a shot on target. That's big for them. That's big for them. If the fans should be celebrating just that alone. It's taken 36 minutes. Hungary have got the ball. Now, Hungary have got a little bit of something about them now. It's been all Portugal so far, but there was just an interception there, so it looks like Hungary might be coming into this game. Just a reminder, Portugal really need something from this game. They really need something from this game because they've after this they've got to play France and they've got to play Germany. Austin is here. Austin, shout out to you. Athol says a lot of people that review Hollywood and Bollywood are making lots of money. I'm sure. There's a lot. Hollywood, so big, isn't it? I mean, I think if you're reviewing all the latest films, you're going to make money. But if you're specializing in Marvel, you'll make money. Or if you specialize in Star Wars, you'll make money. And I'm not even just talking about the top 1, the top 5, I don't know, 10. But for the top 10, there'll be 1,000 underneath that aren't. That's the point. But the top 10 in each one will be making, considerable serious money. So it is there to be made. It is there to be made. But you've got to find that niche, and you've got to find a way of being at the top of whatever it is you're covering, really. Ball in the midfield, and Hungary have got it back. Austin, shout out to you. How did Linda respond to Dolly yesterday? Well, I did try to call her, but she's not taking my calls, so it's not a great sign, to be honest. So I don't know if she's still asleep. She does tend to sleep for 18 hours a day because she's a boomer. But yeah, we'll have to see. Bollywood movie watch-along stream, please. I might struggle to fit that in right now. Not going to lie. Pepe managing to get the ball as Hungary are sniffing around the Portugal area now. Ball played forward by Fernandez. Bouncing around. Hungary get it back. Days, are you top of wrestling on YouTube? Not even close, buddy. Not even close. No, I mean, if you're looking at wrestling, you're probably looking at the likes of What Culture, Cultaholic. Who else would be up there? Brian Zane obviously does quite a bit. Grimm's Toy Show. He's got over 1 million subscribers. Chris Denkops. I don't know, to be honest. But I remember there was a list. This was a little while ago. Ball, turn, save. Nice. There was a list that someone compiled. This was about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. Someone actually jotted down every wrestling channel, not including gaming channels, just every wrestling-related channel by views. So they searched the internet, and any wrestling channel they could find, they jotted it down, and they jotted down total views. And we were in the top 100. We came in at 45th we were. That wasn't bad, was it? I'm not sure we would still be 45th, in all fairness. But 45th isn't bad. And that was about 1.5 years ago. But then you've got a lot of, that didn't include the gaming channels. So that doesn't include, I don't know, Denkops or the others. I can't really name them because I don't know them. But I know there's quite a few. Boom. Ball played forward, but goes out near the halfway line. 45 is pretty good. Yeah, I was over the moon. I was absolutely I couldn't believe that. Thought it was absolutely incredible. I think it was 45 anyway. It was certainly around 4. It could have been 47 or something, But yeah, that was really cool. I think we were one place above Sam Roberts. You know Sam Roberts that is on the kickoff shows, and he did like NXT kickoff show. He obviously does like a podcast to do with wrestling, and views wise, we were just, I mean, honestly, there was nothing in it, but we were just ahead of him. And actually, this is why I've got a lot of respect for Sam Roberts. Someone sent me a tweet saying, "No way, you're just ahead of Sam Roberts," but they tagged Sam Roberts in it, which I thought was a bit moody. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't need to do that. Why would Sam want to see that on his timeline? Like, it's a bit strange when people, like, do that sometimes. Like, I understand people saying, "Oh, well done, you know, you're one place above Sam, that's amazing." But I didn't get why they tagged him in it. But they tagged him, he saw it, and he responded. And he actually responded by saying, "Well done, buddy," or "Excellent work," or something like this. Just a little throwaway message, but it was like it was a really like good job. And I was like, do you know what? Isn't that speaks class? That speaks class. Because he didn't need to say that. He could have easily just ignored it and whatever. Oh, the ball goes over by Ronaldo. That came out of nowhere as well. So the ball was on the left-hand side. There was a lot of Hungary players around. They just couldn't seem to get through, but a ball did get through. Somehow found its way right to the centre, right to Ronaldo. And he's put it over. Ronaldo skies it. And the commentator saying Ronaldo would score that with his eyes closed. Well, he had his eyes open and he missed. The ball goes over the top, and this looks honestly like we might be getting to the half-time score with it being 0-0. Wow. Wow. Ping Pong said, you enjoy UFC coverage. Highly recommend to watch even if you're not a UFC fan. Ping Pong, shout out to you, buddy. Yeah, I mean, we do try to just have fun with whatever we're streaming. I know sometimes that can maybe get... I think if you're like a die-hard fan of UFC or Portugal, like here, you know, we've spent a lot of time talking about other things, but we are watching the game, and if there is anything that needs to be referenced, we're here to do that. I mean, it's 0-0. Portugal have been all over this game, and there's been some close chances, but yeah, I will go wherever the conversation goes. I just enjoy it more. Do you know what I mean? I just enjoy talking to you. Whoever's in the chat, I just enjoy chatting away and going wherever the conversation goes. But maybe I am a little bit poor at getting the conversation back to what the subject should be sometimes. Oh, well. I'm new to this YouTube thing, guys. I never said I was good. WWE Central said France and Germany tonight. I've got my money on France. Who do you think is going to win? WWE Central, shout out to you. Appreciate the support, buds. Who do I think is going to win? France and Germany. I mean, it does have draw written on it. It's in Germany, so the easy answer would be France because they're world champions and they're ranked like number 2 in the world. So it's easy to say France, but this is Germany in Germany. So if France can go to Germany and beat Germany in Germany, that is a hell of a statement. That is a hell of a statement. If France can go to Germany and beat Germany in Germany, they've got to be favourites for this thing because that is an incredible result. So I think draw. I think if this was being played in France, I'd really fancy France. But it's being played in Germany. There's going to be a passionate German crowd. I think Germany are going to be very difficult to break down. They're always well organised. And yeah, I think a draw. I have to go with a draw. I hope it's a score draw, though. I don't want a 0-0. I want it to be a goal. Hopefully it's 10-10. That's what I'm looking for. And that is the end of the half. Right. End of the half. Let's refresh this and we'll see what the stats say. So 68% possession for Portugal, 68-32. Portugal have had 5 shots on target. 5 shots, 2 on target, sorry. Whereas Hungary, 1 shot for Hungary. 1 shot, 1 on target. So, yeah, 68-32. They hope you are doing well. We're doing good, bud. We're doing good. Tharuka, hope you are well. We're first half down in this game, and it is currently 0-0. Little disappointed that we've not had any goals, but it's been an entertaining half. We've definitely seen some good chances, and we've seen Portugal being quite wasteful. So I did expect better from Portugal, to be honest. I did expect better. But, yeah, good. Entertaining, definitely. How did CR7 miss that 6-yard tap-in, says Diego? Don't know. I think even he's going to be questioning that. I think the one thing you can guarantee is no one's shouting at him about it in the changing room. I can't imagine anyone's having a go at him right now. Because he's definitely done more than enough for his country. He could miss 100 of them and people will be like, it's fine. Don't even worry about it. You're absolutely fine. So I doubt anyone's saying anything. But the thing about Ronaldo is he's such a professional that no one needs to say anything. He knows that he should have put that away. AG Games says Memphis Depay move to Barcelona is confirmed. There will be no transfer fee since he is at the end of his contract at Lyon. Not only that, but they accidentally leaked Depay's Barca shirt in their shop. I just don't get this. I really don't get this. I think there's something that needs to be looked into here. How are Barcelona and Real Madrid and PSG and all these clubs able to spend massive money on players, get themselves into financial difficulty, because you watch them spend all this money and they then struggle financially, and then you're like, okay, now they're going to have to pay basically for their silly mistakes in the past. But no, they're not going to have to pay, are they? Because all of a sudden they're just getting so many free transfers. We were talking about this the other day. Like, Wijnaldum has just moved for free. And now Depay has moved for free. Aguero has just moved for free. And they're getting all these quality world-class players for no money. It's just, I don't get it. I just don't understand. I don't get it. This can't be right. It's not a level playing field. I'm angry. Watching Man United and everyone having to spend... I mean, Man United are having to scrape together like 80-odd million. They wouldn't spend 100-odd million last year for Sancho. Finally, it looks like we're going to get him, but we're going to have to pay 80-odd million to do it. And you're looking around, and you've got Memphis Depay, you got Aguero, you got Wijnaldum, you got all these Donnarumma. You got all these quality... You could make... Honestly, if you was to get all the players that have moved for free this year, you could make one of the greatest teams in the world with just free players that are going to like all these big teams. It must be like the sunshine or something. Like, it must be. Because why are Man United not getting all these great free players, and why are Man City not getting all these great free players, but they're going to Barca and they're going to Real Madrid and all of that? It's a conspiracy! It's a conspiracy! Someone needs to look into this. United have a clause where they'll get a percentage of money for Depay's contract. Yeah, but he's moved for free. So that means, do you know what a percentage of free is? Nothing. So they'll get nothing. So again, we're getting screwed over. Not only that, but they now have 8 strikers. They're also trying to sign Laporte and sell Dembele and Coutinho. Unbelievable. Makes me angry. Not only... Yeah, that's crazy. Only 50 likes needed for 150 likes. Shout out to there you go. Shout out to everyone that's joining us. This is obviously a game that's going to capture the world's attention because of Cristiano. No denying the big game today is tonight, though. I think that's France versus Germany game is the game of the first round. So very, very much looking forward to that. James Chadwick said, "Are you looking forward to watching Wimbledon next month? Or are you not a tennis fan?" I am a tennis fan, but I really think that it hurts my interest when there's no good English or British players. Like, when Andy Murray had a chance, I was really into it. When Tim Henman was around, really into it. But there's no great British players to really get into. Like, there's no one really to root for. If there was someone that I could root for, then I would be into it. I will watch it. I mean, I really like, is it Osaka? Naomi Osaka? I really like her. You know, I think she's such a great young talent. I mean, she's still only, 21 or something? But she looks like she could go on to be the next Serena Williams. So I'd be interested in watching her play. And wasn't there a British guy that just did well the other day? Draper or something I saw on the news, so I might keep an eye out for him. But to be honest, I don't really like watch Federer and Djokovic and people like that. I know that like tennis fans love Federer. Wimbledon loves Federer. So, but I've never, don't know. It's never grabbed me, to be honest. I'll watch anything that's got, like, English or British people playing it. I don't care what it is, and that includes tennis. I've no issue with tennis, but if there are no good English or British players, then, to be honest, it's just sort of on in the background. But I'd probably... I like Osaka. I think she is someone that grabs my attention. Just because she's kind of exploded out of nowhere. And I remember that she was, like, getting upset when she beat Serena. And I think Serena was a bit off with her. This was a couple of years ago. And she was a bit off with her. And I think, like, she was ranting and raving that something wasn't right. And Osaka got upset because, like, it was, like, a big moment. But it was all being a bit ruined. And I've just kind of, like, you know, kept an eye on... You know, was that a fluke or is she really that good? And obviously she is that good. She's gone on to win titles and everything. So, but she's never won Wimbledon. So I'd be very interested to see if she can do it at Wimbledon, if she could win Wimbledon. So there's a little intrigue there. But the men's side, I'm not really fussed. I mean, Federer's won it before. Nadal's won it before. Djokovic has won it before. So, I don't know, really. I don't know. James said, I love all sport except golf. Pippa Niven is 42 and she loves pumpkins. Is that true? Is Pippa Niven 42? I didn't know that. Days, imagine if you get the opportunity to interview Roman and whilst you was interviewing him, he stays in character and he's with the Usos and Paul. That would be crazy. That would be intimidating. I know that much. Imagine standing there with all of them stood around you in character. So that would be intimidating. Andy Murray won earlier at Queen's. He's on return from injury. Well, I would definitely watch and see how he does. But in all fairness, because he's just coming back from injury, I'd imagine that he'll, you know, struggle to get past round 2 or something. It's probably one of them where he'll be in Wimbledon, but he's not in it to win it. He's, you know... coming back from injury, and we'll see how he does. Like, I kind of want to get behind. Who was that young girl that did well? Coco. Her. Do you remember her? Coco Gauff? I think she was called. She was her. That wasn't last year, was it? Was that 2 years ago now? There was some young girl that was like 16 or something that was just like, she got through to like round 4, round 5, and she just kept going, and like everyone was like, right behind her at Wimbledon. So I definitely want, if she's in again, I'll support her. So I'm going to keep an eye out for Osaka and Coco Gauff. I think I'm more into the women's side than I'm into the men's side, to be honest. Gar, shout out to you. Hang on, the chat's froze. There we go. Pippa Niven is 30. Oh. I didn't think she looked. In fairness, I'm surprised she's 30. How old would I have said she was? Think about. I probably would have gone with. Do you know? I don't know. I've never thought about it. How old would I think she was? I suppose I would have thought 28. 28 if I had to guess. So I suppose 30 is not too far out from what I thought. What are your thoughts on the Regal announcement? Well, hopefully he's not leaving. If he's leaving, I'll be very upset. And if he's leaving, I hope it's his decision. But, I mean, he's either leaving or he's getting an enforcer and someone's going to help him. But I can't imagine, like, Regal and Samoa Joe working together. Don't know. I'm not sure. Don't know. Maybe like, you know, Regal's like the ultimate boss. Do you know what I mean? He's kind of, but we all know that the ultimate boss is Triple H. So that doesn't work either. Like, we know the top guy is Triple H. And then William Regal, and then Samoa Joe. It seems a bit cluttered, doesn't it? So, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. It's a bit... I kind of feel like if he is coming in, then it should just be Samoa Joe, I suppose. But I don't want to see William Regal go. Perhaps William Regal's going to return to wrestling and he's going to win the NXT Championship. Perhaps William Regal is the one that's going to beat Karrion Kross. Didn't think of that, did you? It's kind of weird there's no English players in the NBA. I think there was one. But, yeah. Yeah, there isn't any big names. If it turned out there was one, I wouldn't be surprised, because I seem to remember that there was one once. But I can't remember his name or who he played for. But, yeah, it's just not on our radar over here, in all fairness. Basketball is, when it comes to the American sports, there's no denying American football's the biggest over here. It's still not that big, but it has got a dedicated fan base over here. And there are a fair few people that watch it, but yeah, it's still not in like the mainstream, you know. But NBA is quite far down below that. Face Fasal said CR7 didn't score. He didn't see the ball. He thought Yotta would miss it. No more shouting war games if he leaves. Do you know what, though? I think they'll do. I don't know why I was thinking about this, but I did think of that. Someone mentioned it yesterday. And if I was Samoa Joe, I'd come out and I'd be like, there's only one way to settle this. Yeah, there's like a feud or whatever. And then point at the screen. You'd have to do that. You'd have to do that. You'd have to do it that way. Like, I've had enough of this kind of a thing. You lot, this needs to be sorted once and for all. There's only one match that can deal with this. And then on the screen is Regal. War game! Yeah. People have been abusing Pippa Niven on Twitter after her Raw debut. Do you know what? I was a bit disappointed, right? I'm going to be straight up honest here. There was a comment made regarding yesterday's Raw stream, and it disappointed me because the comment was, I can't believe people are fat-shaming Pippa Niven. I thought this community was better than that. Right? Now, I was disappointed with this comment because I didn't see any fat-shaming in this chat yesterday. So, and if it was, it would have been isolated and it would not have been reflective of us as a community. I have to stress again, I didn't see any in this chat. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't there because this is obviously a public forum. Anyone can jump in at any time. Like, we are open to the world. So, I'm not saying it wasn't, like, no one said anything like that. But I'm just saying, I was a bit disappointed that the person that made that comment said, you know, I thought this community was better than that because it doesn't reflect this community. So I thought that was a bit out of order, to be honest. So I was disappointed with that comment that got made. And I did see online that a lot of people had been saying stuff, or there had been people saying stuff on Twitter. So unfortunately, I think this is something that has been happening on Twitter and on like different forums and whatever, different platforms. And I'm a little bit torn on it, to be honest, because she is big, and it is something that works to her advantage. Do you know what I mean? It is kind of like something that she stands out for. I mean, she looks different to Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss and Bailey. I mean, you can't really ignore her size. It's an advantage that she has. It's kind of like with Nia. You can't really ignore Nia's size, and I would imagine that, you know, they will look to reference it somehow. I'd imagine, you know, she's going to do big splashes and things like this. You sort of can't ignore it, but there is a line, isn't there? There's very much a line of, you know, how you talk about it. And I think anyone that was, you know, fat shaming and stuff like that, I mean, it's just, there's no need for it, is there? There's no need. It's an advantage. If you're a wrestler and you've got that sort of size, certainly in a division full of women that are going to be like stick thin, do you know what I mean? Like, and you've got that sort of size about you, it's a real advantage. It's a real advantage. I mean, in many ways, you could say that her size is the reason as to why she got called up. Because it really does make her stand out, and it makes her, it's something that you can, I don't want to say makes her more marketable, but it's definitely a unique selling point, if you will. There's not many girls that are her size. So I think that the conversation around it needs to be careful. I think the conversation around it needs to be respectful. But I think you can have a conversation about it. I think you can point out the fact that she is bigger, because she is. And it could be a real advantage, you know. But I haven't seen the comments that people have been referencing, to be honest, on Twitter and whatever. So I'm guessing their tone was really bad. I'm guessing that it was all derogatory and bullying, basically. And there's no need for that. There's no place for that. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully we're nice and clear. We absolutely stand against fat shaming. We absolutely stand against, you know, any bullying and stuff like that. But I think that you should still be able to, in a respectful way, be able to speak about the fact that she is bigger, because I do think that it is something that is a talking point, basically. Right, we're underway with this second half, and Portugal are all over Hungary once again. Hungary trying to get the ball out from the back. Austin says, I don't remember seeing it either. My internet could have been messed up. Well, I wouldn't worry about it, to be honest. And I certainly, you know, it's no reflection on the mods or anything. I mean, it is what it is. If someone has said something in the chat, or a couple of people have said something in the chat, then, you know, unfortunately, there were things that were being said on, like, seemingly quite a few public forums. My problem more is for someone to say that reflects the community. It doesn't. It doesn't. That's a lie. It doesn't. It's like one or two people, and I didn't even see those kind of comments. So, but it is worth talking about. I can't remember who mentioned it now. Was it James? But it's definitely a really good point to talk about, because it's probably one of the big points out of Raw. It's one of the big talking points that's come out of Raw, is unfortunately there were these negative comments. Mia Yim actually came out and said, what did she say actually? I'll read exactly what she says. Let's have a look. Mia Yim says, what does she say? The body shaming is disgusting. Y'all are bold behind the screens. It costs nothing to be kind. So she must have, I mean, that got over 9,000 likes, that got. So she must have seen some stuff. So, yeah. Shame. I mean, hopefully it's, you know, something that people are wiser to now. I think sometimes we can forget as well. There's a lot of, and again, I'm not trying to justify this, but I'm just saying that there are a lot of kids on Twitter. There are a lot of people with like mental health issues and people that just don't think straight, you know. And a lot of bullies as well. No denying that. A lot of people that whatever. But I think it's hard, isn't it? Because you can't see the person that's sending the tweets. You can't see the people behind the profiles. And honestly, a lot of it could just be youngsters. Could be people that just don't know better or whatever. So, and then maybe then you've got people with mental health that think it's acceptable and they come on and say some stuff. And then you've got bullies as well, obviously. So, yeah, I mean, it's just, to be honest, it's social media being social media, isn't it? We all know the problems of social media. But I must say, I mean, I did like, just to briefly finish this conversation, I did like Pippa Niven. I thought she looked good last night. And I think that she is... What I wouldn't have done is I wouldn't have had her... Do you remember when she won after? She was like... Oh, she was really shocked about it. And she was even saying to Eva, she was like, I just won. Like, I can't believe it. Like, and she seemed quite humble. She seemed kind of like, oh, I can't believe it. I've just won on Raw. Did you see what I just did? She was kind of like that. I don't think I would have had that. I think, like, she's a big girl. She looks like an absolute killer. And I think I would have had her just, like, get the job done and then just stand next to Eva. Do you know what I mean? And just been like, whoa, don't mess with her kind of a thing. But instead, she seemed quite surprised that she'd been able to do it. So we need to see what the story is first. Obviously, we don't know enough. It could be that this was a girl that didn't believe she could, and Eva has trained her, and this is the evolution, you know? So it could be that Pippa is one of her students. But honestly, if that's what they've done, if they're going to try and convince me that Eva is responsible for training Pippa to become a great wrestler, good luck with trying to sell that to me. Flip. Honestly. It's like trying to sell me magic beans. Yeah, Eva now. Eva runs a wrestling training school and she's trained Pippa Niven to get a win. Portugal with the ball, looking to get it into the middle of the pitch, but it's cut out by Hungary. Days, my WWE package from WWE Shop just got to my house. What's inside, Johnny? Harley said, I think what he was trying to say is that he can't believe people are fat-shaming Pippa Niven. And when he says community, he might have meant wrestling community. Talking about Twitter, I don't know. Well, maybe, but if that was the case, then I think it was just worded a little bit wrong, because I think the exact words were this community, which heavily suggests this community. And honestly, if anyone wants to come and say anything about this community, I'll defend it, because I'm really proud of this community, and I'm really proud that we're open, honest, passionate, but respectful. Like, we don't attack people. We might go after, like, the stories, and we might go after, like, characters, and we might go after what we get presented on screen, but we're not a community that attacks the people behind that, and we're not a community that fat shame, and that's not us, and I'm obviously proud about that, and I'll defend that. So it could be, you could be right, Harley, it could just have been badly worded, but I didn't appreciate it all the same. Moda says, Days, the sort of surprise/naive character will work out better when Eva screws her over. Pippin will snap and become a boss in the ring and have a great run. You could be right. You could be right, you are. Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see how it plays out. I am aware of that, so it's not a big criticism, but it's just at this stage, if I was booking it, I would have had her be more confident. But as you said, it could be a case that, you know, she ends up snapping and we end up getting something from it. So we'll see where it goes. At least we're not the K-pop community. Wow. Indeed. Indeed. The Portuguese... I don't get that. It's the arm, I suppose. The Portuguese player was just trying to head the ball. So it was... He's spun around like that, and his arm has just hit the Hungary player in the face. It was Ruben Diaz, I think. Oh, it might have been Pepe, but either way, Portugal have got the ball. We're 10 minutes into this second half, and time is running out here for Portugal. I mean, they've still got plenty of it, but it is running out. We've got about 35 minutes left, and it's still 0-0. And fun fact, Portugal really do need to get a result from this game. Ball goes out of play, and... oh, no, I think he's kept it in, actually. And the Hungary player trying to play it into the midfield. What was inside the package? Well, this Rambling Rabbit limited edition pin. Adam said on Eva's Twitter, she put, allow me to introduce my protege, and tagged Piper. Oh, no. Well, maybe that's it then. Maybe Eva is... She's basically the QT Marshall of WWE. She runs her own wrestling school now. One of the worst wrestlers we've ever seen now runs her own wrestling school, and her protege is Pippa Niven. That's going to be a tough sell for me to buy that. I mean, first of all, Pippa Niven won the match. I'm not sure they teach that at the Eva Marie Wrestling School. Hungary breaking forward onto the edge of the box, but... oh, getting a shot off. Oh. So, a shot by Hungary on the edge of the box, but straight at the keeper and didn't really threaten to go in there. Here we go, Portugal trying to break forward. Ronaldo, but headed clear. Hungary, I tell you, this game has got a bit of energy about it now. Ball on the right, played forward. I could see Becky versus Rhea at SummerSlam. Becky wins, and Pippa Niven versus Becky at WrestleMania 38, and Pippa Niven wins. Krista Zuba said, that's a moan. Good job we don't have the moan. I did well with the moan meter. I still had 7 left. And even if, like, you know, maybe a couple slipped through or something, I don't think they did, but either way, that's all right, isn't it? That's all right. I like that. I actually like the moan meter on Raw now. I wasn't sure about it at first because we were spending a lot of time just arguing about what was a moan and what wasn't a moan. But now that's kind of settled down. Now I feel like it is kind of keeping me a bit more in check. Just a little bit. And I enjoyed the Raw stream. I really enjoyed the Raw stream. Dolly did as well. Hungary looking to get a long throw in here. And they do, on the edge of penalty area. Falls to a Hungary player as well. But there's just too many Portuguese players in that box. Ball breaks out, and looks like Hungary might be able to get it back, and they do again. This is back and forth. I tell you, this has got a lovely pace to it. If you think this is like a really boring 0-0, it isn't. It's kind of end-to-end stuff. The only thing that's missing is that once we're getting into and around the penalty areas, the other team tends to be able to clear. So we're not seeing much in the way of like clean-cut chances. We had quite a few in the first half. We haven't seen loads in this half yet. Obviously, we're only 15 minutes in, but an hour gone in this game, and it is still 0-0. A lot of Portuguese fans are going to be quite tense here. I mean, honestly, if they get a draw, you've got to play France, and then you've got to play Germany in Germany. Ball whipped in, but quite comfortable for the Hungarian goalkeeper. Days, come on. You could beat Roman and the Usos in a handicap blindfolded. You should join WWE and become the Universal Women's Champion. You had 7 moans left because Eva didn't wrestle. It's one of the best moments ever. Long ball forward. Any Dolly or Bob Ross sightings today? I'm not sure. I'm not sure we're going to need that positivity, to be honest. We've obviously got this game and France-Germany next. But tonight's NXT looks like it's going to be very, very interesting. So I'm not sure we're going to need any distractions tonight. Hungary again clearing their defensive lines. Portugal getting the ball back into the midfield. Semedo playing it forwards. Ball bouncing around. There's a lot of heading going on. For a moment then, a couple of Hungary players just heading it like backwards and forwards. It is very competitive, this. Hungary giving a much better performance than what I was expecting. In all fairness, I think if some of those goals had gone in the first half, and they should have, this would be a different game. But I think the fact that Hungary are still in this, and they've got something to defend, and they've got something to battle away and fight for, I think is making this, like, you can tell every second that's going by, it's getting tenser and tenser and tenser. It's interesting. Athul says, social media is so toxic. Thank God India banned TikTok. Yeah, yeah. It's hard. It's hard to know what the future is going to hold for social media, because I don't think it's going to ever go away. It's a very important tool, and it does have a lot of positives to it, absolutely. But like anything, you know, it can have, where there's positives, it can also have negatives, and there's some big negatives to social media. So I really do try and spend less time on Twitter, and I feel so much better for it. I really do. I think you don't really realise sometimes, and I have said it before, but you don't really realise sometimes you really can click off Twitter feeling worse than when you clicked onto it. And why would you ever want to spend time on something like that? Why would you ever want to spend time going on anything? I mean, life is so short. If you're going to dedicate time to something, you're going to want to feel better after you've been on it, aren't you? If you watch a film, you want to feel satisfied after. Or if you listen to an album, you want to feel satisfied. So if you're going to spend your time doing something, when you click off it, you should feel satisfied, you should feel better. And it might just be interesting to, like, record, you know, over the week. How just simply, do you feel better clicking off Twitter after being on it, and just seeing how many times yes, how many times no? If it's more yes, then brilliant, it's working. If it's more no, maybe take a break. Maybe take a break from it. Maybe just something as simple as that might be just a useful way to measure how social media is impacting you. Right, Portugal have got the ball in midfield. 27 minutes left now. I'm more of a Facebook guy and Twitter guy. LSW says TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all the social medias are some of the worst places to be. The mods have investigated, and there were some negative comments. Apologies to anyone that was offended. We will endeavour to do better. It's not a thing, is it? I mean, it doesn't... It's almost impossible to police. You can't have your eyes on the chat all the time. And, you know, unfortunately, it's a problem that the world is having to deal with. You know, Twitter and other forums have to kind of deal with that kind of stuff. So, you know, it's one of those. What bugs me more is that anyone thinks that's a reflection of our community. It's not. Ball whipped into the middle and headed away. Snapchat is boring, says Ant. Tharuka, shout out to you, bud. The less used social media platform is Twitter compared to Instagram and Facebook. Is that true? People use Facebook more, do they? I used to be on Facebook, but I haven't really used it since I left work, to be honest. I just used it really to kind of keep up with people that I work with or used to work with. Because I've actually worked in about 10, 11 different stores. And as a result, you obviously make friends and then you move on and go to a different place. It's just a really good way of keeping up with friends. But I haven't been on it for a long, long time. And I've always been rubbish with Instagram. I've never really known what to put on there. I've used it more for the figure stuff, to be honest. Right, corner for Portugal, but it came to nothing, and Hungary were able to clear the lines. The tension is mounting. How's Harley feeling? He's got Cristiano Ronaldo in his team. He's got Cristiano. Might remember, he was feeling quite confident not long ago. He was counting his chickens before they scored. Harley, are you feeling the pressure? Crazy Ginger Jake Holden said, this is the worst community I've ever been in. Ha 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 ha. Another corner, you know, to Portugal. Looking to whip it in. All hail, three-time streamer. Back post goes out. I'm 5 and I've got a broken arm and I'm in hospital. I tried to save a pigeon in a tree with a broken ring and I've got no friends and I want to share my passion for wrestling. Can we be friends? I don't have any, says the 2 best Madden scientist. Dude, you know what? That's so weird. Because amazingly, we did have someone in the chat that was exactly in that same situation last night. How crazy is that? How crazy is that? The 2 best Madden scientists, shout out to you. Tharuka said, have you watched Lost 2004? Is that the TV show? If it's a TV show, I've seen it. That was around that time, wasn't it? Was it? Might have been a bit later now, I'm not sure now. I think it was around that time. Bruno Fernandes with a shot and great save by the Hungary goalkeeper. Bruno doing what Bruno does best. Finally, Bruno getting the ball, and look how far out that was. Look at that from Bruno. So impressive. So impressive from Bruno. DJ Dylan, shout out to you. Hope you are well. Moda said, Days, I can manage you all the way to WWE's women's title. Brilliant. I'll take any belt. Into the middle. Another corner. Onto the edge of the box. We're slowly sneaking to the 20 minutes to go mark, and it's still 0-0. I did not expect this. How's the heat? It's all right. I'm down in the basement, so it's very cool. I think it is quite hot outside, but I don't have to deal with it, to be honest. Sunny, shout out to you. Johnny said this is the best community. Oh. Shout out to you, Johnny. So, yes, we are under, just over 20 minutes away from the end of this game. If Hungary can get anything from this, that will be interesting. It'll be even more interesting if Hungary could get a late goal. If they could steal this 1-0, that would be wild. Ball played into the centre. Oh. There was a Hungary player there, but they're just struggling to get any nice clean chances. They're snatching at a few opportunities. Should the women's division have a mid-card title? Intercontinental or US? Not at the moment. I don't think there's enough women. Isn't there? Didn't someone say there was like 6 women on SmackDown now? Or something like this? I'm not sure there's enough women. If you add the SmackDown title, the mid-card title, and the tag team titles... If you tag team champs on SmackDown, that would only leave 2 women that didn't have belts on SmackDown. So I think they desperately need to look at the rosters. Athol said, I'm studying medicine. My dream is to work in London as my uncle is there. Best of luck to you, Athol. You are welcome. Not that I, decide, but you are welcome to come to London and apply your knowledge of medicine. It's great place, London. They say that if you get tired of London, you get tired of life. There's so much to do there. So study hard, my friends. Study hard. Other Mother said, I'm enjoying this game. It's been a wonderful pace, hasn't it? It's been very frantic, frenetic. It's been end-to-end stuff. And I think what's really grabbed me is that Hungary have given a really good account of themselves. Yes, Portugal have had chances, and yes, Portugal should have scored. But Hungary have had a few moments. Maybe nothing too clean-cut or whatever, but it's not like they've just been battered the whole game, not being able to get out of their half. They've had a few moments. Pass completion, 443 for Portugal. That's 85% pass completion. That's crazy. The new advertised to wrestling but didn't champion Eva Marie. The new advertised to wrestle but actually didn't champion Eva Marie. Got you. Tariq said, I'm studying to become an astronaut. My dream is to go to NASA. Very cool. Can you study to become an astronaut? How do you go about doing that? We didn't have those classes when I was at school. We had like geography and PE and maths and English. We didn't have astronaut lessons. So I've no idea how you go about doing it. But best of luck to you. Harley said there's 7 on SmackDown and 12 on Raw. Well, we need to do... Maybe Raw could get away with a mid-card title, but even 12's not many, is it? Thinking about it. Here's Hungary. Whipping it to the back post. Headed across. Ah, no one there. Falls to a Portuguese player. Another half chance, quarter chance that Hungary just couldn't capitalise on. I'm studying Days. My dream is to be his special assistant, says the second best Madden scientist. Well, you need to get better first. Dude, you need to get out of hospital. Till Paul said, my dream is to become Cardi B. I'll see you tonight for NXT. Shaquem, shout out to you, bud. Johnny said PE was hard. I always liked PE. I was a fan of it. I never liked PE though when I never liked PE when you had it like first thing. That was the worst. When your first lesson was PE. Because then you had to like have a shower, get ready and quickly get to the next lesson. It was always better when it was the last lesson of the day. You know, you could have a shower and whatever, and you didn't have to rush as much. I mean, you still rushed because you wanted to get home, of course, but when it was first thing, that sucked. I always found when it was the last lesson of the day, like football would always go on to the very end of the lesson. But when it was the first lesson of the day, if you were doing football, it would only go on till 15 minutes before the end. And then you'd have to go back and get showered and get ready, because obviously they didn't want you late for your next lesson. So I always enjoyed it, but it really depended what time of the day it was. Hungary fans are applauding. They're going to have been pleased with what they've seen. If you are joining us or you've joined us late, this has been a full capacity, and it's been a nervy game because there hasn't been any. Oh, that's a long shot, but goes well wide. It's been a nervy game. There's been chances, but yeah, I think as a result, neither side has been able to really get behind their team, if you will, because there's a tension. There's a tension in the air. Nerves are in the air. Do you know what I mean? Portugal, 74th minute. If I was Portuguese right now, I'd be like, we've got to win this game. My dream is to go back to where I was born, and that is the moon. Days, I want to follow my dreams. I'll be so happy if I make my dream come true. I want to become a garbage man. Hey, do you know being a garbage man pays well? You make good money being a garbage man. Being a garbage man's alright, you know. Falls to Ronaldo. Oh, Ronaldo is adamant that's a handball. Oh, the referee's like, alright, we'll look at it. Don't worry, we'll look at it. The referee's jogging away. Here, I tell you what. Ronaldo is absolutely adamant. The player, that might be, you know, look. That might be because he does put his hand up to it. That could be a penalty. I don't know how much he knew of it. There's no VAR review. What? He brought his hand up. He brought his hand up. Oh. Yeah, I don't know, man. I can kind of see it both ways. I think, he's moving and his hand is naturally... I think it is naturally coming up. I don't think he's purposely done it. I think it is naturally coming up. They haven't checked it anyway. There is no review. There is no penalty, but that is a big talking point. Wow. I used to work on the dust. Yeah, Garbage Man's pretty good. Pays well. I got massive respect for them because we were talking about my hatred for rats. And I should imagine, do you know what I mean, around rubbish. It's just a natural magnet for them, isn't it? So, Ronaldo is disappointing me for my soccer fantasy league, says Austin. Ryan said that looked like a handball. Ronaldo has gotten me 2 points so far. If I knew I had him in my team, he would really try. He wouldn't want to disappoint me. Well, he's disappointing the nation at the moment. Thruka said his hand is naturally coming up due to the speed. Oh, it's hard though, isn't it? It's difficult. At what point is it a handball? Because it hits his hand. And his hand is moving. It's not ball to hand. His hand is moving. So it's a bit of a... I can see both sides, to be honest. I don't like sitting on the fence, but I could understand Portugal being upset there. But I could understand if the penalty was given, Hungary feeling hard done by. Personally, I don't want the penalty to be given, because I'm quite happy for this to end 0-0. I think it makes this group even more interesting. If this ends 0-0, it's even more fascinating. When I used to play football back in the day, anytime it hit your hand, it was a handball, whether intentional or not. Days, you got to stream in 25 minutes. Yeah, I mean, I might have to delay that a little. As soon as we're done with this, we'll go to that next one. I mean, this game is done in 12. So, I mean, yeah, in all fairness, I might struggle to get to that next one thinking about it. Maybe I'll have to delay it. Hang on. Can I do that live on stream? I'm not sure. Let's give it a go. What could go wrong, hey guys? What could go wrong? Into the midfield, and we are approaching the final 10 minutes. Ball played forward. Hungary player has got it. Into the penalty box, gets a shot off. It's in! He scored! Hungary have scored! I thought it had got... Oh! It's offside! It's offside! It's going to be checked. Please be a goal. Please be a goal. Please be a goal. This would be brilliant. No, he's onside. Come on. I think he's well off, actually. I think he's well off. Oh. I think he's well off. Yeah, I mean, he takes it really well. No, it doesn't stand. It doesn't stand. It's been ruled offside. Oh, my God. The drama. Can't cope with the drama. The drama. Oh. That was such a moment. That was such a moment. Right. Oh, gutted. Gutted. I'm going to delay the next stream by 15 minutes. Done. Ah, scenes. It is scenes, right? So, I could see. Do you know? I could see Portugal getting the goal here. I can see Portugal getting a late goal now, just to break our hearts. It'd be really good if, like, Portugal could go out or something like this. Did you ever check under your couch? I think no, Austin. Moda said Portugal had better win this now. Harley said I need to leave in 30 minutes because Wrestling Days has got a stream in 30 minutes. Well, don't you worry. Don't you worry. Even though Wrestling Day, we won't run over into Wrestling Days' stream. But there's only 8 minutes left of this one. Great goal. Too bad he was offside. Cheater. Quit cheating. Gutted. It's ruined my day, that has. Right, well, anyway, it's still 0-0. So, you know, they need to recompose themselves, refocus, get their heads back into the game. Yeah, I mean, he was an absolute mile offside. There's no denying that. He was a mile offside. Let's try and get the chat back. After all that drama, I lost the chat. There it is. What's the ref doing? He's let them score the goal just to then lift the flag. They always do it late. I don't get it. I don't understand why they don't flag straight away. They can clearly see it's offside. But I think they're told that you have to wait for the play to end before flagging. But what that means now is that players don't know whether to celebrate or not. And like fans, obviously, like celebrate, we've got the goal, and then the flag goes up and you're like, ah. It'd be so much better if you're offside, you just... That's what they used to do. They did that for years and it worked. Portugal, you'd think they're going to get another opportunity. Is that a spider on... Hey, do you know what? Portugal score. Portugal score. Oh. Heartbreak. Portugal score. I was hoping that someone was offside or something was going to happen. It's just rolled in. It goes into the centre. It's put right into the corner. And it is a goal for Portugal. Yeah, is all onside, into the middle, just bounces off a player, goes right into the corner. That's football. That's football. That is how football works. Got to take your chances. Oh. Unbelievable. Yep. So, Portugal score. Right. I didn't see who it was. I didn't see who got the goal. It was Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero got the goal. Eddie Guerrero for... You've got to take your chances. You've got to take your chances. And, you know, Portugal haven't. But the thing is, they've got such quality. Penalty. Penalty. Portugal for season now have turned up. Out of nowhere now, Portugal look like they're about to go 2-0. Oh, this is just incredible. Guerrero. Unbelievable. Yeah, penalty. Right, here we go then. Penalty. And it's going to be Ronaldo. Ronaldo is going to be taking the penalty. So, so far, 1-0. Is this about to be second goal? It's a penalty right now to Portugal. It's already 1-0. Ronaldo scores. Ronaldo scores. Ronaldo becomes the greatest goal scorer in the history of the European Championships. Ronaldo. Yeah, 2-0. Ronaldo. I'm just gutted. I really wanted Hungary to get the result. They've worked so hard, and then in the space of 2 minutes, it's just been taken away. The stream is messing up. Not sure why. I've got a green light here. Ronaldo is in my team. The stream is lagging. Not my end. I've got a green. The only thing that I've got is the green light thing in the corner of OBS, and it's green. Says it's green. Says no drop frames. I don't know if it's a YouTube issue or if it's something like that. But this end, everything looks all right. The stream kicked me to another advert. Just gave me an ad. Okay. There's literally nothing I can do because we've not dropped any frames. We've got the green light. All the numbers are fine. Everything's fine. So I don't know if it's going to rebound or something. The stream has gone. What happened to the stream? I don't know. I seriously don't know. I don't know what's wrong. I mean, we are live. Stream ended to me, but I got back on. I honestly don't know if this is an issue with YouTube or something. I can see that the stream, it's fine now. It's all good now. I have no idea what's happened. No idea at all. The streaming that we use, no issues, no drop frames, no problems whatsoever. There is no issue, no drama, no warnings. The light in the bottom is green. Everything has been exactly the same throughout the whole stream. But for some reason, I can see that the people watching just drastically fell away. We were at one point close to 200 people watching us, which is really good for the football. And we've plummeted down to about, I don't even know where we are now. But, I mean, thankfully we're at near the end of the game anyway, so people aren't going to miss anything. There's 5 added minutes. We're into the 20-odd seconds. Yes, it is now, but the stream stopped completely and then came back once you close and reopen it. Well, look, all I'll say is if ever we do have any issues like that, if ever we do have any streaming problems, then they should get rectified. I mean, there's no... Streams have been fine recently. We haven't had any issues for a while. So, if ever you do get any drama, just refresh and hopefully it should come back. What's the internet charges in the UK? Here, it's $70 for 2 gig of data. Oh, it's not that bad. It's not that bad at all. I think you can get 50 gig for about... No, you can get 10 gig for £50, I think it is. I have around about 500 gig a month using all of my devices. Ronaldo with a second. Wow. After going the whole game, Ronaldo gets a second goal. Ronaldo with a second. In the 92nd minute. Look at that. That is amazing, isn't it? They go the whole game. And then the 84th, the 86th, and the 92nd minute. I mean, if you're a... I'm a neutral fan, and I feel sick. I'm a neutral fan, and I'm like, oh. I feel so gutted for Hungary. Isn't it incredible how Portugal just could not score, and then for some reason it's just clicked. Oh, look at the Hungary fans. Gutted. Hungary has awoken the beast that is Portugal. Harley said, Days, your stream turned off, and we have to admit it. It was our fault. The scoreline doesn't reflect how good Hungary have been. LeBron fan 23 said, I think I said before the stream started he would score twice. Well, there we go. 3 goals for Portugal. 2 goals for Ronaldo. Ball whipped in by Hungary. I mean, the game's, it's done now, innit? I'm gutted. Ryan said 3 goals in less than 10 minutes. And at the end of the game, heartbreaking. Austin says, I'm now a Ronaldo stan. Taruka said, suddenly the stream dropped and then started again. I don't know. I can't explain it. I have no idea. All I can tell you is everything was fine this end, so I don't know. Must have been Lily. Must have been Alexa and Lily. Hungary is going to win this, says Harley. They've managed to click and give it their all. Right, we are sneaking to the end. Did you like Raw last night? I mean, it was so-so. There was matches. There wasn't really anything that offended. I didn't like the low point for me was the Alexa Simpanold bit where she's tipping her head and he's copying. Felt very much like rubbish amateur dramatics. Felt like something I'd see in some kind of college play. But other than that, you know, it was all right. It's all right. Portugal have won. And honestly, I'm gutted. This is probably the most gutted I've felt during the whole tournament. It's so weird because I just feel after watching how hard Hungary played and after Hungary scored as well, it's such a cruel game at times. Hungary scored. It was 1-0. And look at the Hungary fans, man. They're showing their support. They're giving the clap to their team. It was 1-0, or thought it was 1-0 to Hungary. And within the space of, 10 minutes? It's 3-0 to Portugal. Wow, it's cruel. Kind of said 2 words. Completely dominated. Second best Madden scientist says, I'll be better by the next Raw stream. Yeah. David said we had Dolly Parton quotes to get us through Raw last night. We did. We had it. I mean, in all fairness, we had it in preparation. I felt that I was going to need it. But we didn't need it so much. But it definitely helped get us through. Portugal say, bring on France, Germany, and the world. Hey, I've got to tell you, I would not be scared about facing Portugal. I'm not worried as England. If England get Portugal, I'm not concerned. They're going to be tough, and they absolutely could beat us. They've got Ronaldo, who single-handedly can change a game. But after looking at this performance, I've just watched them for 84 minutes, struggle to get a goal against Hungary. They had chances, they were wasteful, but obviously they end up 3-0 in the end, and that shows how dangerous they are. They are never out of this game. I'm now a casino stan, but a Ronaldo stan as well. Dave, CR7 is the GOAT. If you rewind the stream, it's only 2 minutes long because it lagged. Days, I got Portugal or Belgium winning, says McLean. Ronaldo versus England would be awesome, says Tharuka. You got to know when to hold them and when to fold them, Kenny Rogers. Right, well, look. We're going to wrap it up there. It was a very, very interesting game. It was a fun game to watch. Back and forth, 0-0, very tight, and then Portugal just absolutely blasted off. Off to the moon they went, to the moon, and amazingly, 83rd minute, it looked like we were looking at 0-0, maybe even a 1-0 Hungary win, and here we are after 90-odd minutes, and it is 3-0 Portugal. That is just insane, isn't it? So, football doing football things. And, yeah, the big game. The big game coming up next. The world champions. The best team in the world. I think they're the best team in the world. They're my pick to win this. France. France. With Mbappe up front. The powerful striker. Young striker. One of the most, maybe the most expensive player in the world if he was to come on the market. It'd be where we've just gone through the Messi and Ronaldo era. We're about to go through the Haaland Mbappe era. So we're about to see Mbappe. No Haaland at this because, of course, Norway didn't qualify. But Mbappe is going to be in action very, very soon, taking on Germany in Germany. What a game that is going to be. So, yes, I'm going to go. We're back in about 20 minutes, so we won't be gone for long. So, big shout out to everyone that's joined the stream. Really appreciate the support as always. Hopefully, I'll see you in a few minutes' time for what could honestly prove to be the best game, the most compelling game of this first round. Awesome, guys. Bye for now.